And I felt that spray all the way over here. For some reason, I'm going to look at it again when we finish this update. The video I recorded on Monday, I can't get our Blackboard to read it. So it may be because I changed the title and it takes a little bit on YouTube to register the change. So I'll try again to get this stuff from Monday up. And this update on the project will also be up. And we, in essence, have almost all the materials we need for the catalog, the flyer, or the poster, as well as the little mailer or brochure that you're doing, a two-panel brochure. And the file for In the Raw, if you haven't downloaded it from Blackboard, is a large file. It's 260-something megabytes. So if you are trying to download it from either here or even from the casitas or whatever, it may take a while for it to download because it is a huge file that you have to, that's in an archived format, and then you have to expand it or unzip it if you're on a PC. But that file contains all the images from the In the Raw. And those will be the images when we were looking at Photoshop last week and doing real quick image cleanup in Photoshop. Those are the images that you'll be working with. And I've already seen some, just by walking around, I've seen some of your brochures. And who says that museum people are not creative? I've actually seen some pretty neat stuff. And all the more is the reason why I'm going to press for this being a full semester class where you do just InDesign rather than bouncing back and forth. Because it really is, this is an important software suite as well as a software program, InDesign. I think any artist, and for that matter, museum professional, should know how to use it because it makes your voice exponentially large. The ability to reach so many people and to present yourself in the most effective manner, the way you want to be presented or represented. Another thing I strongly suggest that you do, and we're not going to do it in this class, is if you do plan to become a curator, get yourself a WordPress blog site and start to blog regularly. If we were to do this as a full-blown class for InDesign, I would include how we do a blog. Because a blog, in essence, is your commentary on the art world. And that's important in making your institutions visible. And it's also an important part of visibility. So it's more than a website. A blog is actually like a weekly, you've all read the paper and you see the editorial. Right? In essence, it's like a weekly editorial or a monthly editorial. It's something that you constantly update, and it allows other people to engaging, because blogs are interactive. You put something out there, and then people respond to it. And you get some pretty amazing dialogues going sometimes on blogs. As compared to Facebook, which is 99.999 crap. Right? Facebook is, is family spam and friend spam. All right? They just spam the hell out of you with Facebook. But it's okay to have a Facebook page as a curator. Your blog and Facebook page should be interrelated. And people should, from your blog, be able to go to Facebook. Because Facebook, you expect a more conversational, more, just crappy stuff. As compared to, and it's a good way to advertise what you're doing. Whereas a blog, you want to reserve for your more scholarly and your more culturally relevant and serious type of stuff. Although, you don't have to be completely serious in the museum world. All right? That actually humor is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful way that people learn. Whatever it is, we tend to remember things that we respond emotionally to. If what we read invokes or evokes an emotional reaction, we're more likely to remember it than if it's just something that's just bland. Right? That's why often we do remember Facebook stuff. One thing that's going to stick with me for a long time is the image of Luba's car with the back window caved in. Any of you see that on her Facebook? The article? She's doing that documentary, and her car was broken into. They smashed in the back window and stole all her gear. And that's horrible. Now, I wouldn't expect that on the lawn. I mean, that picture is burned into my brain. Here's someone in the middle of an amazing project, and it has everything stolen right off of my earth. So blogs, Facebook, any of the social media, because a blog is social media. And how does this interrelate with InDesign? All right, so we're going to update the catalog project, and your layout is going to be interactive PDF as well as Shockwave format. All right, so it will play as a PDF, but it will also play as a movie. And you're going to use throughout the whole catalog either a 1 or 2 column page setup. So all pages will consist of either 1 column or 2 columns. And even though it has 2 columns, remember you can stretch an image across the 2 columns, should you decide to. But what it does is it gives you a grid, a rough orientation of where you place images. Now, one of the simplest ways to place, for a catalog, images on a page, and I strongly suggest you think about this, is if I've got a 2 column, and I'll put the gutter right here. So I've got a 2 column page. I might put 1 image here, and I'll signify it with the X to say that it's an image. And then I might put the descriptive label here. And then I could put an image here, and then a descriptive text here. That's the easiest way to do it, and you tend to see in most catalogs, that's one of the most common formats. But part of the expectation is to include static images too, because every one of these images is going to be clickable. And what it will do when someone clicks on that image, it's going to take them to another page that shows that image larger. So in essence, we might call this one a thumbnail, and then the zoomed in image. So that's going to be part of the interactivity with the interactive PDF. You can look at it in a larger format. Delete.
Would you like them also to be linked to a specific place on the World Wide Web, like an article about the artist?
You could include that if the artist has a web page. You can include that actually on the artist's information. But in the raw, I don't think too many of them have a website. Possibly, I'm thinking of the artists there. Maybe Monty has one. I'm not sure if anyone else does. All right, but if that's out there, sure. Certainly, as far as the stuff that's in the dance circle, Estelle Loretto has a website. Alan Hauser Foundation is another. All right, there's, I'm not sure if Rory Wake Me Up, Eric, I can never remember his last name. He's the one who did the hanging, they look like helmets, or they look like the chimes, but they look like helmets. I'm not sure if he has a website, but if they have a website, you can make that active so that you can bring it outside of that to an external link.
Question: how much could you do to the picture without asking the artist for permission? Do you change it, or do you have better design?
Just crop it.
Yeah, but if you were to use it and maybe put some type on it, but you have to ask permission from the artist.
If you're actually going to put type on it, yeah. Because type has been used in two-dimensional media now in painting. A lot of artists actually include textable images. So yeah, you would actually need artist permission.
And to link their, do you have to ask them permission to do that?
To link to them, they're crazy if they define.
Right, but I'm just saying, you have to ask them.
I'd say no.
Okay.
Because the very fact they put their web page out there is permission for people to do it.
Right.
All right, that's implied consent. Okay. Now that's the most simple, right? That design, but part of the expectation is that you'll have some of the wall shots there too. Right, that won't be clickable. It'll just show a cluster of paintings or a cluster of works, all right, that kind of show other works that were in the show, but aren't going to be dynamic. So you're going to be including those in there too. Those will have no label. So another easy way to do this, don't pretend that this is a zoom out now, but suppose I have a 2-column layout, and I may actually put a horizontal or a landscape of one of the gallery shots, and then I could have an object, label, object. Or you could have a page that is strictly gallery shots that are not clickable. But you're going to include those within there. I leave it to your creativity as far as how you're going to lay that out. But the easiest format is this one. If you want to go beyond that, I mean, another thing you could do is you could expand the photo past the gutter and have a smaller label. You're still using a 2-column format. So, mess with it. But don't make yourself crazy. If you feel like you're spending too much time on it, go with the easy. It's all right. We've got, 6 weeks of class left? 5 weeks of class left? So, it's okay to go easy. Oh, I didn't waste that yet. So we are... it's going to be 1 and 2 column page setup. Your master page is going to have an interactive change page buttons on the right margin. Now, when we did them for our practice one, we did them at the bottom of the page, remember? But for this catalog, it's actually going to be along the right margin. And I'll show you how to do those in a very brief tutorial on Monday. It's going to be pretty much the same thing you did. We're just going to change where we place them. You're going to have the IAI logo, and I sent those to everyone via email, in the lower right margin if you've got a 1-page spread. All right, which means that this is the page here, there will be a very small IAI logo down here. And what we're going to include within that logo is you're going to create so that it's not only the logo, but inside the Thunder Turkey is going to be a page number. So you have a small logo, page 1. Actually, it's not going to be page 1, we'll probably start at page 4. It depends on your layout. So it'll be a little Thunder Turkey. I can't even remember what it looks like now. All right, but you know the one I'm talking about, right? All right, and it's going to be the 1 right in the middle. So if you've got a 2-page layout, the page number will be in the lower left if it's the left page, or the lower right if it's the right page. And that's a very simple operation to do, and we'll go through that also on Monday. You'll have a cover, and I very strongly suggest that your cover mirrors the brochure that you're designing. You see the connection. You're advertising for the exhibition, so the cover should mirror the exhibition as well as the advertisement you're sending out. So it's going to include the image, the title of the catalog, and a large IAIA logo that is going to be in a halftone. So that logo is going to be ghosted in. It will be barely visible. It will almost be like a watermark appears. Have you ever seen letterhead or the real fancy cotton, 100% cotton paper, and it's got the letterhead? You really can't really see it until you hold it up to the light. I mean, it's that ghosted in. That's what's going to be on the front cover. And that will be the large IAIA logo. You will have an inside cover. So you will have the front cover, and then a blank page, and then an inside cover that has IAIA's address, IAIA phone, the IAIA website address, as well as the Primitive Edge website address, or web page address, and then copyright 2014. Even though we aren't formally copywriting, nor are we assigning an ISBN number to it, we'll still include the copyright. You will then have a table of contents as its own page. And then the next page will be the IAIA mission statement. You all know the IAIA mission statement. And then you'll also have the statement, in essence, my project statement will be on the same page as the mission statement. That will be a separate page from the table of contents. And the table of contents will be interactive. In other words, when they click on Art in the Raw, it will take them to the cover page of Art in the Raw. Really? So that table of contents will include all of the content from that page forward. Oh, I realized I actually replicated what I said. Sorry about that. The next page will be your curator statement, which will be audio with the musical or sound effects or whatever, and or transitions and text. There will also be a photo of you. It could be a mug shot or an action shot on the same page as your curator statement that when clicked will play your curator statement that you did that audio for. And the mug shot or action shot of you, I do not want it to be one of those handheld where you're pointing a camera at yourself. You can always tell when someone's taking a picture of themselves. All right? We don't want it to look like a Facebook photo. So have someone shoot a photograph of you, or I'll be happy to shoot one of you, but it's going to be a professional photograph. And that will be an active photo. That when someone clicks on it, they'll hear your voice. And there will be several pages, and it's going to depend on how you do your layout. That will be images and text labels from the pieces you photographed on the dance circle or any of the other objects you chose to photograph. Because some people did things that were in the gallery space. Some people did things that were actually inside the building. But whatever you chose, you're going to have the images and text labels. You're also going to have at least one video from the dance circle that did the 360 walk around of one of those objects. The next section will be an inside cover for Art in the Raw. You'll have the Art in the Raw text description, and I have the description that I'll send you via email. Several pages, so you're going to be showing at least 4 images and labels for the Art in the Raw exhibit, and then those wall shots that I told you about that show several pieces from the show, but you won't use labels on the wall shots. And you'll intersperse those with the pieces you chose to highlight, the 4 or 5, however images you're going to include in the catalog. And those are the images that I said that will be, the images you selected to highlight are the ones that will be clickable from the smaller format to the larger format. a fit of madness, should you decide, and you can con one of the artists who's in Art and Raw to do a brief audio commentary about their work, it's worth 25 points to get at least a 1-minute statement in audio. So you convince them, you can buy them lunch, buy them coffee, and have them talk, get them jacked up on caffeine or Red Bull, and then have them talk about their work. 25 points extra if you include audio from one of the artists. 10 points if you can get a photograph of them. So they click on a photograph of them and then they talk. All right, so that's the difference between an A and an A plus, by the way. So as part of that, you have the scaled down images that when they're clicked, they display at the larger size. Did I just show this?
Yeah.
I must have accidentally hit the copy page. I apologize. You will also then have a little commentary. This project as a result of the Museum 220, some commentary on why, what was the rationale for the project, what was it supposed to accomplish. I'll leave that to your creativity. Any special thanks to, I would include within it. You can say this in general, the artists who participated in creating the work for Art in the Raw, the assistants or gallery assistants who helped hang the show, and then specifically mention Jesse Riker, Philippe Colomb. Who else should you always mention, and not me? The board. Yeah, I know it looks like letting air out of a balloon, all right? But you always mention the board. I just watch everyone. All right, no matter what, you mention the board. Geez, I just put that on recording. I'm going to leave it in there, too. And you always mention the foundation, any donors. You don't have to do them by name, otherwise you're going to do a really long name list. But you can mention them in general. And thank Dr. Martin. And then any acknowledgments that you think are important. And then you have a back cover that will include an IAIA campus site shot. I'll provide the image. It's going to be a real cheesy IAIA with a rainbow over it image. And it actually goes over this building. All right, so it's just real new age kind of, just real spiritual. It's an architectural version of whatever you see. This drives me crazy. People get their photograph shot and they do this. That kind of pseudo-spiritual look, I was looking off in the distance, right? All right, this is the architectural equivalent, it's that rainbow over the building, It was real, I didn't even Photoshop it or anything, I just happened to be here. All right, but that's one of those cheesy spiritual kind of shots, and that'll be the back cover. So starting Monday, we're going to put all this stuff in the blender and start running with it. This brochure that you're doing, and then this lesson that you're working on, that's the last lesson you'll be doing on the book, by the way. It's 5. That's the last one you need to do. Anything else that we need to do, you've already got the skills to do. And just based on looking at your brochure, you've already been creative. And you've already activated tools. Candace? Never mind. That's like when someone says, "You promise you won't get mad?" I mean, they set you up to get mad. You ever notice that? You know, when someone says that? So now you say, "Never mind," that makes me mind. I guess it's the equivalent when you tell a kid they're going somewhere and you say, "In a little while." If you want to drive your kids crazy, say "in a little while." Because when you were a kid, time distorts. Right? In a little while, you know. I mean, minutes seem like hours. All right, so continue to work on your brochure or this last chapter assignment, assignment number 5. Yeah. And I strongly suggest, though, in fits of madness, once again, if you want